Years ago, I was actually in the TV and VCR repair business. I bought a business and ran it for a few years and sold it off again. It wasn't a very profitable venture, but I had a lot of old stuff that I inherited with it. There's 2 cases loaded with tubes. Those were in my basement for years. I just brought them up since I got interested in working on some old TVs and radios. I have been working on 1920s radios, but I've recently gotten interested into working on some old television sets. And so I brought those cases up. There's actually one more in the basement yet. I didn't bring it up. And these cases are full of tubes. There's a lot of vacuum tubes in those 2 cases, plus the one that's in the basement. These were things that were leftovers in the business when I bought it back in the 80s. Here is something else that I gleaned, and there's still a lot of stuff left in my basement. I'll have to really do an inventory this spring and start saving and throwing things out that are truly junk, but that test tube there, that CRT, has all the wires, but the socket's missing from it. Let me see if I can get this into better light. Let's see, it looks like about best against my wall here. There's 5 wires sticking up. That's the wires for it, but I'll have to see if I can find the socket and mend this tube. I would think the tube is good yet. I don't think any of them wires broke off, but this was some of the stuff I inherited with that business. All of the work I did when I had that business was pretty easy. It was simply repairing circuit boards, printed circuit boards in TVs and VCRs, doing head replacement, head cleaning, adjustments, tire replacements on VCRs. I ran that business pretty successfully as far as the repair rates were concerned for several years, but I was starving financially, and so I sold it. The equipment, at least. Most of the good equipment went. I had a lot of good test equipment, but now I find myself wanting to buy 1 or 2 pieces of it again. Not the same stuff, but stuff I used to have. Sencor VH62 I had. I might buy another one. But my main focus is that old TV that's sitting up there. That's, I believe, a 9T 240 something. I can't remember exactly. This was given to me years and years and years ago. About in the condition you see it. I didn't worsen its condition. It was given to me by someone that was going to throw it out. They said, I got this old antique television, and when they said old antique television, this was quite a lot of years ago that I got this set. And I was always going to one day see if I could fix it up, but I never did. Well, maybe that day is getting closer than we think. It's kind of ratty looking. This is all kind of bad looking. The case itself looks bad. It's about in the condition when it was given to me. All the knobs are on it. I don't know how good the CRT is though, but I have a CRT tester, and I'm going to give it a test and see if I've got a decent CRT on it. We'll take a look. Okay, looking at the back of this thing, it's really more of a wreck than I thought. I never really looked at it too close when it was given to me. I looked it over roughly, but here someone has soldered or attached this cord in defeating the cheater cord here. The cage, high voltage cage, is supposed to go down over that, and there's supposed to be a plug there where this goes in. I wouldn't dare plug it in. I have to rework that somehow, and where am I going to find? I'll have to find somebody that's got a a plug for this so that I can actually put it back the way it's supposed to go. So I might have to mend this a little bit to test this, or when I pull the chassis on it. I have no idea when I'll really get to working on this set. I've got a lot of projects lined up, and they just have to stand in a queue and take a turn when I get interested in working on them. I've always got more projects than I have gumption or time. Here is the interlock that I see was somewhat defeated. If I look at this wire that's hanging out here, that's the interlock, safety interlock. The original back, of course, is missing. And this is the main focus of this video right now, is I'm going to put the CRT tester on and find out how good this CRT is. So I'll get the tester out. I'll see how good it is. Okay, I've got my trusty BK440 CRT tester hooked up to the tube, and the tube is lit. As you can see, maybe you can see it. If I look, we have half lights, and that's good. Let's see what the emission looks like. Well, that's really good, really up in the good. Let's try the cutoff. And well, I don't know. The cutoff might be okay. It's within the range lines. It isn't. I don't know. I haven't tested very many CRTs. I've been out of this business for so long, and all of the CRTs I tested and rejuvenated were pretty current color ones back in the day. So I think this tube is fine. Go back to emission. We're well up into the good. So this is probably a good candidate for a future restoration, but I'll have to find all of these missing parts. I have to put this back together the way it's supposed to go, get rid of this funky cord that somebody did. I have to put this thing back together the way it was. So if I get to restoring this set, that's going to be part of the job, is fixing up what somebody else really cobbled up. Boy, that's a mess. I also looked up underneath this set. There's some asbestos up in the top, and it looks like somebody at one time or another had scraped some of it off. That's not good. Sure hope they had a face mask on when they did that, so if it was kind of flaky and dusty that they were breathing in those fibers. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with what the rest of that's on there, but because it's so flaky, I'm going to have to come up with some way to just coat it over and maybe glue up with some silicone. I'll glue up some aluminum foil on the surface of it and just kind of paste it down with that so that it's underneath the aluminum foil, and not it's probably not a very good insulation for heat, but that's the best I can do to deal with that asbestos. But like I say, this is going to be a good candidate for a future restoration job for me. I'll have it lined up with all the other stuff I'm sort of working on here. I hope I get to it someday soon.